Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Life with Charlotte. So today I want to talk to you about the hip surgery I had 7 years ago, or it will be 7 years on the 6th of September this year. So back in 2010, 2011 and 2012, so I was age 15, 16 and 17, I kept falling over, didn't know why, couldn't weight bear. It was practically hurting me. So my mum took me to the hospital for some scans. And they said, no, nothing's wrong, she's fine. Nothing. There's nothing on the scans. There must be, I kept falling over. So we put it down to when I started secondary school in 2007. They put me in a wheelchair because the school was too big. So I was able to walk on a 7th frame still. Hence why I kept falling over. And then in late 2012, I think it was about Christmas time, I fell over and I couldn't get back up. We had to call an ambulance. So an ambulance come out, took me to the hospital, and they done another scan. And the consultant that I was under at the time said, I hate to say this, but you've had a dislocated hip. What do you mean I've had a dislocated hip? Well, you've had it since birth. So why has no one picked up on it? Because no one else has looked for it. So from the age of, I was born, to the age of 17, nearly 18, I've had a dislocated hip. And they think that because I kept falling over, it jarred something. Otherwise, it would have been picked up. So that was 2013. So from 2013 to 2019, so a big period of time, I was in excruciating pain. I couldn't weight bear properly. I didn't want to go out. My life become very humble. Painkillers. I was on so many painkillers. It was untrue. So from 2013 to 2019, I was back and forth to hospital, to Guy's, to St Thomas's. I was at every hospital in London apart from King's, and I was also at William Harvey, the local hospital where we live. Nearly every month, crying in pain, couldn't wait, but every time I fell over, I was taken to the hospital, getting told, there's nothing we can do. Well, I know that, but I'm in a lot of pain, help. And when you're in that amount of pain, all you want is a decent night's sleep, and just for someone to help. So back in 2018, I was taken, I remember quite vividly, I was at a concert with my best friend at the time, and it got cancelled. We got all the way there and then it was cancelled. It was a Demi Lovato one, and I was pretty fuming because I wanted to see her. So that was on the Sunday, and by the Tuesday I was in hospital. And I was kept in hospital for 3-4 weeks in the July. And that's when I met my husband as well. So it was a lot in that year, back in 2018. And then I was referred to a place called Stanmore, which is a Royal National Health Hospital, which only normally deals with veterans and soldiers that come in from the war, or who have been out to war and have been seriously hurt. So I was referred up to there. They gave me a steroid injection to see if that would help. It didn't help. So late 2018, I went back up and, It's a lot for me to process. And they said, we're going to have to do hip surgery. What? You've got to replace it? Or put a pin and plate in it? No. We're going to take it out, which is now called, at that time, a girdle stone, which means, you have to bear with me, it was quite hard to process myself. Where your hip joint is, which is like that in the rotation thing in your hip, mine wasn't. Mine was down here, so I had no ball in the thing in the hip. So all they done was, obviously I had to go for surgery in 2019 on the 6th of September. 2 days before my birthday. I was 23 at this time, and I was 2 days off being 24. And I was like, I'm going to be stuck in hospital. No, I don't want to be stuck in hospital. So I had no choice. So we had a little holiday beforehand, because I didn't know how I was going to be. Booked my mum a room and my husband a room with the hospital, and they both stayed. My husband could only stay a couple of days. So 6th of September came. I was dreading it. And we went up. I had to be there for 7 in the morning, and I went down about around 2 in the afternoon, which was obviously a really long day. So I went, and they said, right, what we're going to do is your ball and your femur, like that, and what we're going to do is take this part, imagine this is my hip, this part of your hip, and just leave the bit like that sticking up, which if I could find the x-rays I will leave down below. So they took the neck of the femur out, and it's left me with no hip in my left side at all. And obviously I know what you're all thinking, how does she do anything? Which I will get to in a minute. So I came round about 6. It took that long to do. I was in there for a good couple of hours. Went back up, and obviously time I come back up I was like really sleepy, so they let me sleep. Then the next day they got me up doing physio, which was really hurting because I had a drain in as well, so everywhere, well, I couldn't really go anywhere. I was bed bound. Yeah, I was bed bound, so I had physio come in and trying to move me. Obviously when you're still in pain, you don't want to be moved, so I was battling with that. Then depression kicked in because I was stuck in the hospital for a week, and I didn't really want to be. So that was the 7th. On the 8th, obviously it was my birthday. Didn't expect much because I was in hospital, and I woke up to my nurse. She brought me a little chocolate cake in with a card, and they wrote on my whiteboard, because they had a whiteboard in the room, and they wrote on my whiteboard, happy birthday. My husband was with me for that. He came back on the Wednesday, I believe, because he had to come back to work, but my mum stayed up there with me, and then I was transferred out on the 16th of September, like a week later, I believe. Yeah, no, that would have made 10 days. I was back out of hospital within 7 days. They got me transport home, and then I was bedbound for the rest of September, October, November, and I think I just started to get myself back up into my wheelchair in the December, because I had a lady come out to work with me on restanding and transferring, and then obviously in January we got told there was COVID. So all my physio stopped, all my hydrotherapy that was booked in, I never got. I didn't get a checkup. I didn't get a follow-up appointment. All because of COVID. So till this day, I am in no more pain. I have my bad days and my good days with my hip. It can be quite frustrating because you think, oh, I can stand, and you can't. Not without someone with you, because you got nothing there to support you at all. And I've just learned to adapt with no hip there at all. I've still got my right hip, so that does a lot of the work, but I will never be able to walk with a similar frame again now, because I've never had the physio, I've never had hydrotherapy, I've never had a follow-up appointment. So the 7 years that has passed, or will be 7 years in September, that has passed, have been quite challenging, quite frustrating, and quite not depressing, but I wish I just could go back to my old self, or being able to take myself to the toilet, or take myself out to the toilet myself. I can't do that no more because I've got no hip there, and I'm scared of falling over, and because no one's giving me any help, it's sort of become, what do I do now? So you can imagine. So yeah, that is my hip surgery, guys. My one advice to anybody that is thinking of having it done: do your research beforehand, research, and more research. Chat to your doctors, consultants, physio, OTs, anyone that you think that could help. But make sure that you have got someone back at home with you, or could pop in now and again to give you a helping hand, because you're going to need it. That is my one advice. And as I talk to you, consultants, doctors, anyone that is involved, and don't rush in like I did and make the biggest regret. It's not the biggest regret, but I think if I could go back, I wouldn't have had it done, knowing what I know now. Not being able to stand, not being able to transfer, not being able to do much on my own without my husband or my mum with me, because I have to have help. I've become very stuck in a routine, basically, guys. So yeah, I would do your research, talk to anyone that's involved with your surgery, and yeah, if you're going for it, good on you, and I hope you have a positive outcome like I did, without being pain free. That's all I can really say, guys. So that is my hip surgery from 7 years ago. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like, follow and subscribe. And if you're new here, go and watch my old videos that will explain why I'm in a wheelchair. It's not just because of my hip. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy it. If you have any comments, leave them down below. As I say, I will try and link my other video up here for you. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a good weekend and the rest of your week.